There is an epidemic going on in this country, and if you take public transportation in a big city, you are definitely at risk. It's groping. Diane McInerney reports.
It was just disgusting. I was just appalled.
I was kind of just frozen in my place.
All these women have one shocking thing in common.
I couldn't believe that somebody touched me.
It just seems so brazen to do it in a public place.
They have all been victims of a sex crime on public transportation.
Subway crimes like groping and flashing are on the rise. In New York City alone, arrests are up 130% from last year. By a show of hands, how many of you have been groped? How many of you been flashed?
I felt so violated, and I never thought I would say that because I didn't think it would be a big deal if that had ever happened to me.
Adrienne Fergados is a researcher here at Inside Edition. Last summer, she was in a New York City subway train on her way to work when she found herself alone with only one other male passenger.
He was looking at me, and then I noticed him unzip his pants.
The man proceeded to fondle himself. Adrienne ran off the train at the next stop. But she is just one of many in our own newsroom who has been a victim of a flasher or groper. And it's not just in New York. In Boston, there were 103 reports of lewd behavior on mass transit last year. And in Los Angeles and Washington, D.C., special task forces patrol for gropers and flashers on public transit. In an Inside Edition exclusive survey, we asked over 300 women who ride the subways in New York City if they have ever been groped or flashed. A disturbing 36% say they have, yet only 9 of those women say they reported the incident to anyone.
I couldn't move because the train was so crowded, so I just got off at the next stop.
They don't want to get involved, and they feel ashamed and embarrassed by his actions.
Steve Kardian is a Mount Pleasant, New York police officer and self-defense instructor.
Where do these creeps get the nerve to do this to women?
He feels secure in that what he does may not be interpreted as something improper, at least not initially.
This hidden camera video shows just how crowded a subway car can get. Sometimes the only place to stand is wedged in between other people, and bodies are pressed against one another.
Once the train starts moving, it is not unusual to bump into one another, and it is the perfect opportunity for someone looking to grope a female passenger.
Eventually, I felt a hand in between here, like going
His
like
hand
that.
was right here.
Yes, right here.
That's what happened to New Yorker Colleen Liss, who says the man sitting close to her used the opportunity to touch her and then touch himself.
Was he fondling himself?
Yes, absolutely.
Colleen says she was too horrified to say anything, but now there's a growing movement to take action with a cell phone. Earlier this year, cell phone pictures of men who women say flashed them on a New York subway were splashed all over the New York Post. They were taken by irate female passengers. And the website hollaback.com has become a viewing board for women who are fed up with public transit perverts. From New York to San Francisco, women post cell phone pictures of flashers and gropers. This New York flasher was arrested and sentenced to 2 years probation for public lewdness. So what can you do if you're being groped in a crowded public setting like a train? Kardian says think about using your elbows as a defensive weapon.
Put your hand on your hip and point your elbow into my sternum. And this is a very, very sensitive area of my body. And all you have to do is give it a little lean or shove, and you're going to cause me to move back.
And if you carry a big bag, use it to your advantage.
Turn this way a little bit, and that gives us some space so I can't have that body-to-body contact.
That shouldn't be normal for us to, have to deal with getting groped on our way to work just because, well, we're women, we're on the subway. I think that's awful.